joining us on Talk of the Town. It's time for another one of our real estate segments. And, of course, it is hotter than heck out there in the world of real estate. And we have some amazing experts to tell us about it. From Royal LePage Locations North Real Estate, we say good morning to Lorraine McDonald and Jane Moysey. Ladies, welcome to the show.
Good morning, John and Melanie. Great to be here.
Good morning.
Great to have
Good
you
morning,
here.
Al.
Now, let's talk about the fact that, oh my goodness, it is certainly a seller's market. It is crazy for buyers. So in this segment, we'd like to give maybe some tips for buyers. First, Jane, I'm going to ask you, just how short a supply do we have in our area in terms of the homes available for sale?
Well, if you compare to the quarter of 2020, we have a third of the listings that we had in that quarter, and they're selling in half the time that they sold in that quarter. So extremely reduced number of listings and much more competition for all of them.
Well, with it being, Lorraine, obviously not as many houses on the market, and I am a buyer wanting to get in, and sometimes we have no choice of when we're going to be getting in. It's just my time that I need to get, maybe job sent me there, whatever it may be. Is there a way that myself as a buyer can avoid being trapped in a bidding war?
Well, we don't like to call it trapped, but it does happen. But we've developed some strategies to assist our buyers to ensure that they will do their best to be successful in a bidding war. There's a bit of fatigue out there right now on the buyer's side because a lot of them don't want to compete. So we're seeing a bit of a shift, but not significant yet.
So, I mean, basically, what can a buyer do above the sale price to make sure it doesn't increase a bidding war? How do they stake a claim and take some of the hassle out of this?
Well, first and foremost, they need to work with a local realtor, whether it's us or any of our colleagues, because we are all watching that market. We live and breathe the market, so we watch it all day, every day. We keep track of the types of homes that are selling over their asking price and by how much. How many bids seem to be coming in on every single listing, and that varies depending on the price point. The sweet spot these days is certainly 400 to 700, and there's multiple bids on that. But even some of the higher priced homes in the 1.1 million category can get as many as 10, 11 bids. So when a buyer wants to win, then we certainly have the strategies to tell them how to do it.
So, Jane, when it comes to some of that advice with the market being so hot, some people are thinking, well, I mean, someone's going to want my house. I can do it myself. What would you say to them? Jane, that was
yes,
you.
I would say yes. Realistically, yes, you can. Is it going to result in the net result, the best net result for you or not? I would say no. The National Association of Realtors in the States tracks these things, does multiple studies, and finds that as soon as buyers know that you're not working with a realtor, well, then the first thing they're going to do is beat you up for the commission that you're not paying. So you as a seller take all the risk up front, which we usually do, pay all the bills, do all the work yourself, and your net result is generally less than had you worked with traditional real estate.
Yeah, and it's already an emotional process, to be buying or selling your house. So I couldn't even imagine putting that on myself to try and do it myself.
Yeah, I also wanted to ask, Lorraine, is there something that is there a common thing that you're seeing when you're working with sellers that you see buyers making mistakes? What are some of the mistakes that buyers are making in this now sort of pressure cooker time?
Well, the key mistake is that they don't have their financing secured up front. It's really important to know how much money you can spend, and you've got that confirmed with your financial institution. Because very few of the multiple offers right now are going in with conditions. So you want to eliminate that condition up front, and that is really the key.
Now, Jane, when you're working with buyers, what conditions do you tell them for sure you got to get that handled ahead of time. Don't go in with that condition. Are there any conditions that you maintain you should still have?
Well, it depends on the heat of that particular property and how badly the buyer wants to win it. So you're going in competition. If you can take one of the best strategies, I think, especially with an older home, maybe not so much with a condo or a new home that's still under carry-on warranties.
Right.
But if you're going in on an older property, inviting your favorite home inspector to come in with you for a half hour and just give a verbal assessment of what he or she sees is a great idea. And then you have some level of comfort to go into that competition without putting in a home inspection condition.
So you almost want to keep a home inspector on retainer and just go to all the open houses with you?
They're very important in real estate transactions,
Wow, this is fantastic information. If folks have questions that we didn't cover, because I know for many buyers, this is a stressful time, where can they go to get some help?
JaneandLorraine.ca.
JaneandLorraine.ca?
Simple.
That is great.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much. Lorraine McDonald, Jane Moysey, the Royal LePage Locations North real estate experts. Thank you so much for joining us here and Talking the Town.
Our pleasure. Thank you, John and Mel.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Another 95.1 The Peak exclusive interview. For more discussions about your community, visit the Talk of the Town page at thepeakfm.com.